その夢は終わらねえ。
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are with Alex showcasing the black-blue Sakazuki deck profile. So Alex, get it going.
Hiya, so just quickly, obviously there's a lot of staples like Brand New, Suru, Toshigi, Sabo, Borsalino. I'm currently running 2 Moncherry, Rebecca, I'm missing a Rebecca, it's just stuck, yeah. 4 Hina, 3 Ice Age, 3 Great Eruption, 4 Lucci, 4 Houndblaze, and 2 10-drop Kuzan.
So why the choice of the 2 10-drop Kuzan? Not many deck profiles are really running in that many anymore, so what's the choice behind it?
I feel like, especially into the current meta, Red, Purple, Luffy and Enel have some really high cost characters late game, you know, like Big Mom, the 7 cost Enel, Yamato, etc. They're really tough to remove, especially Kuzan gets Giratsu's really easily. Red has tons of removal that can get rid of Kuzan. And whilst you can bring it back with Rebecca and Moncherry, it can feel hard to play it on your turn. 4 can be a lot for just essentially drawing a card at that point in time. It's why I've upped Ice Age to 3. A lot of decks I see run 2. I think that if you can have a turn where you're in position to play the 10-drop Kuzan, -5 from the rest on means that Rob Lucci then inherently hits a 7 and a 6 cost. If you swing with your leader, then that can be a 7 and a 7 or a 8 and a 6, which, you know, paired with Great Eruption or Toshigi, etc., you can then hit anything on the board.
So obviously black was mainly just Smoker and now it's changed to black-blue. So what do you feel about the colour combination in general with black-blue?
Well, as you can see, I'm not actually running much blue, just Houndblaze. I think there are some really strong options. I see some decks running 3000 Worlds and Red Rock. The main reason I don't play those is because there's obviously you've got the Brand New search and so like the draw and stuff. So if you trash a card, then like from Brand New, if you search and you see it in your search, it goes to your trash. You have no way to get it back. It feels a bit bad. It's why I think Hina is so good as well, because you can bring it back with Moncherry, and then you can -4 every time. And then if you're Rebecca's guy, you can bring them back with Moncherry. So it's just really nice recycling of resources.
So obviously normal black decks used to play a lot of Shockwave, so why no Shockwave in the deck now?
I think the deck just, because you're using so many resources to remove stuff and obviously stay aggressive into the current meta, leaving 2 Don up can be difficult. I personally haven't seen any decks run it. It's more that it's really tight for space, as you can see. It's really tough fitting cards in. I'm running a lot less 2k counters when I played Smoker as well, because you need to play 4 Rebecca, 4 Lucci, 4 Houndblaze. I have seen some decks run less 4-drop Kuzan, but that's something I haven't tested yet. Obviously, you know, regionals have only just started for OPTCG in the West, so I might try running a couple less Kuzan and put in cards like my option cards, like the 7-drop Borsalino or the 10-drop Kaido that draws you 4 cards, or the 10-drop Kaido that bounces things to hand. But I just don't think bouncing things to hand is as good in the current meta when you can bottom deck and KO so easily. I think Borsalino is really the only card that, and Sabo, that really stop you being able to KO anything. So I think Houndblaze and Rob Lucci are kind of fine for that.
Yeah, so obviously there's not that many 2k counters. Obviously normally you'd have like 12 to 13, so I'm assuming the Borsalinos, the Ice Ages and the Great Eruptions really help with just counteracting the fact that you're not playing as many 2k counters in the deck. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to know about your list is there anything you would want to change about your list in general?
Yeah, again, I'm considering running less Kuzan in favour of Borsellino. It is weird from, again, someone who played Smoker. I used to run Kobe, Sakazuki, Meteor Volcano, Shockwave, loads of removal, really, and 10-drop Kuzan as well. So only having really two sources of removal with Rob Lucci and Houndblaze is very different to what I'm used to. But I think it's getting in the mindset of that you're recycling these Luccis, so when they die you bring them back with Rebecca, and Kuzan really helps as well because it pops again a 5, and with your leader you can swing for 3 as well, so it can pop a 6. And then if you have a Toshigi or a Kuzan already on board, then that's even higher, which can feel really rewarding. And then having the -5 just static on board again really helps. I think this Kaido is playable. It's just not my favourite. When I've been testing, especially in the mirror matches, if my opponent spends their turn playing 10-drop Kaido and getting 4 cards in hand, that usually doesn't really change the outcome of the game at all. Whereas if I can drop a 10-drop Kuzan on a turn, I feel like it's a lot more impactful to the game and can swimming it into my favour a lot more.
Yeah, so one thing I wanted to ask is OPO5 just came out recently. In your opinion, what do you think are like the best matchups for this deck in general?
I don't think Sakazuki has too many bad matchups. I think depending on how you play into an L or how the NL player plays, it can be hard having enough bodies to try and actually go for game. But again, that's why I really like the 10-drop Kuzan. It's why I'm considering running the Borsellino as well. And at the end of the day, you can even swing with Borsellino and Sabo. I think it's still doable. It's just one of those decks where it's more reliant on triggers than anything.
Yeah, so for anyone new who might be trying to build Black-Blue Sakazuki, what do you think are the pros and cons about the deck that people could know about if they want to build it and such?
I think this is probably the strongest set for removal, control in general, and I think Sakazuki's the best control deck that they've released. The bottom decking and the KOing, there's not much most decks can do about that. And if you can keep control during the game, it can be quite easy to maintain that control. With Sakazuki, the effect of being able to discard cards, like for example with the 10-drop Kuzan, there are obviously lots of times where it's not the right timing, maybe I get it in my opening hand or something. You can just trash it early, draw that card, maybe it's a 4-drop Kuzan, maybe it's a Hina, maybe it's a Great Eruption that's going to help you out later in game. So I think the fact that you can kind of filter your hand with Sakazuki's ability is really strong. The -1 on attack as well means you don't have to commit any Don. One of the issues with Smoker was that you had to commit that Don. It does struggle in that obviously 6k base leaders like Red, Purple, Luffy and Whitebeard, it can be hard, but in those matchups if I win the dice roll I tend to choose to go first and just play a turn behind on curve, so I always have the extra Don to put on my leader and swing for 6. But yeah, it really depends on how you play as a player. But it's just the strongest control deck that they've released.
Even with the brand news and the Kuzans, do you ever feel like you may have a lack of hand size from time to time, or do you think your hand size is always good?
Yeah, I think definitely if your opponent is really putting out a board, or their board, you just don't have enough cost reduction or whatever, if you're not seeing the pieces you need, then you can rely on using Surus and Toshigis to then reduce cost, which feels really bad, obviously using 2k counters. Toshigi less so, because obviously then it's a body on board as well, but obviously being free cost, it can mean that your plays are a little bit different. I think that it's just a lot better with hand size than decks like Lucci and Smoker, where you had to trash cards to KO, which is why some decks I saw do play 2 copies of the free cost Kobe, where you trash a card to KO a free cost. It's really good because you can play it with Rebecca, which is really nice. but also, again, trashing cards from your hand. Card advantage means so much in One Piece TCG. If you do start losing hand advantage, it can be really tough, which is why I understand a lot of decks do run this Kaido over the Kuzan, but I just feel like at 10 cost to draw 4 cards, it's just too late in game, really, to have a big effect.
So before we close off today's video, I just want to ask, what's your overall opinion on this deck in general?
I love it. I've been playing Smoker since OPO2. I'm glad I got these before they jumped in price. But I think it's in a really strong position, and Black going further as well in the meta, OPO6 and onwards. I can just see it getting stronger and stronger. This deck as well gets support in OPO6 with the Tashigi Searcher, which just helps for that consistency, cards in hand, seeing the pieces you need, which yeah, just makes it more consistent.
And with that, everybody, we're going to be coming to today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on the next one. Remember to like, comment and subscribe and follow all of our social media, and we will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.